shoes high and my jeans low. I got my socks fitted. You know how I roll. Homicidal clothes cause I'm dressed to kill. Leave 6 bitches oohing cause I'm worth a mil. Flow is ill, spitting no vomit spill. Killing them softly but I ain't Lauren Hill. I'm a Beantown boy with a Trigger City mind state. Leaving whole surprise like they going on a blind date. Had that ass spinning, best believe that booty gyrate. Come fresh to the game so y'all lanes better migrate. Versatile cat so I flow on the South Beat. Spit so hard I fuck around and hurt my teeth. My vision stays clear, why y'all looking cloudy? Yeah I spit fire but misses don't doubt me. Jumping hard on tracks, call me steroided rabbit. Consistently murder beats like a serial killer's habit. Drop his flow, so I took the game and stabbed it. Copy my style, but it's too hot for you to grab. I got my shoes high, and my jeans low. I got my socks fitted, you know how I roll. This is how we roll. I got my shoes high, and my jeans low. I got my socks fitted, you know how I roll.
Wale, as I take another pull from my Cohiba, overlooking green fields full of reefer. My suits say let it soul on my cufflinks, similar to Jay-Z and Puffy. I ain't saying that I wanna be like them. I'm getting fat stacks, why your paper so thin? Look at them, the eyes of a hustler. Need me a mansion so I can buy a butler. This is the classic, so put me in the classified. I'm extra fire, so she suck me like a pacifier. Old school Chevrolet, riding up the interstate. Bitches give me crazy love, niggas want a hard hit. Pussy niggas try me and you gon' get a scar face. Ain't no way I'm getting caught, that's gon' be a hard case. That baby girl, my 38, my trigger finger on the cake. Shoot you niggas in the face, you gon' see the pretty face.
My shoes high, and my jeans low. I got my socks fitted, you know how I roll.
This is how we roll.
I got my shoes high, and my jeans low. I got my socks fitted, you know how I roll.
This is how we roll.
Since a youngin', I knew I had the flow to succeed. Always kept my nose high, like trying to stop the bleed. Kept running, there was nothing in my way to impede. So ahead, it's safe to say there's no one after me. But I'm trying to rise up while you bathroom bitches sink. Hot like I'm in me, my aroma doesn't stink. Kept my eyes wide open while the blind bitches blink. Not one to have regrets, but my mind always thinks. I never gave a fuck at what them lames ever thought of me. Just kept doing what I do, cause that's just how it ought to be. Money on my mind, you can call it moneyology. You getting it out the ass, but I ain't talking side of me. Denver Bronco money, cause it just stays mile high. Whopper Junior bitches, I don't beef with small fry. Little fingers on the side, cause you can't be this fly. Tell me to keep my bread up.
So I threw my money in the sky.
Sandstorm. Hey, mom. Classical, I see you. Hey, that's how we roll.
What is up, my people? It is Townie Tuesday. Welcome to another episode of Townie Sports. I am your host, Sammy. I am joined by none other than the co-host, Victor. Vic, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Sammy. Thank you so much for having me here. It is just an absolute pleasure to be back on the air. Sorry, folks, we took that 1 week hiatus, but we are recharged and ready to go talk about some sports.
Yeah, and we have an awesome special guest joining us today. It is our boy from the Fairweather Podcast, A-Rod. A-Rod, how you doing, bro? Thanks for coming on.
I'm doing good, man. It's only right. If you guys jump on our podcast, I jump back on yours, man. It's a sweet thing, being able to conversate with you guys about sports.
Absolutely.
So anytime, I'm always here.
Heck yeah, man. Always trying to plug each other and push each other for good. So today, man, really wanted to get into, a little bit of the MLB talk. We're almost a month in. And then after that, we'll kind of sneak a little bit into the NBA. We got the playoffs coming up. So we'll talk a little bit about the Knicks in particular, about how they've been doing so far. And then we're going to close it out with a little fun thing, a little Santa's list that we have, because we got the NFL draft coming up. So we all have our teams that we love and enjoy to watch. We'll also throw the Bucks in there because that's our local team as to, how they're doing. But yeah, that's pretty much how we're going to set this show up today. But first, hey, Rod, I know this is going to kill you. First, I really want to get into the freaking Boston Red Sox.
Let's do it.
The Red Sox are freaking good, Vic. How about that?
No, and I'm going to eat a little bit of crow. Granted, it's the first month of the season, but this is a lot more fun of a team to watch right now. And right now, they're locked into a battle where they're tied 1-1 with the Mets right now, but they have a season record of 14-9 that ranks first in the AL East. And actually, no other team in the AL East is above 500 at this point in the season. So they've led the AL East for 15 days straight, and have been over 500 for 6 of those games. They have I'm just going to run down some quick stats that I found interesting when I was looking at the Sox here. So they have 1 walk-off win, 1 walk-off loss. In 7-inning games, they're 2-2. In 9-inning games, of course, they're 10-6. In extra innings, this is one that shocked me. In extra innings, they're 2-1. So what that means to me is that they're winning close games. And if you look at the 1-run games, they're 3-2. So they're above 500 in 1-run games. And in blowout games, obviously, as you said earlier in the season, this is going to be a team that hits their way into wins. And in blowout wins, they're 5-2. So that's and blowout wins it means 5 or more runs score 5 or more run difference between the losing and winning team.
Yeah, so I mean that's a team that I told you kind of early on they were going to hit, and I will say, and I'll bring A-Rod into the conversation now. He's over there kind of falling asleep. A-Rod did sway me to look more into the Red Sox, so I got to give him credit to have me look into the Red Sox and them being potentially a sleeper team, kind of a decent good team, or a team that's going to be better than what everybody projected. So A-Rod, why were you falling asleep over there? Obviously, you hate the Red Sox, but.
Well, we might as well just end the season now and, just give the World Series to the Red Sox. It's all this metrics and, talks about 1-run ball games and we're the only team above 500. Might as well just, give the World Series to the Red Sox now. But beginning of the season, I did tell you that don't fall off on the Red Sox. They have a good team. It was all coaching. Coaching is the biggest thing. People don't value coaching. And I love Alex Cora as a coach. I do think he's a cheater. I'm sorry. Like, he's just a cheater to me. So he inherited a team that he's like, how am I going to cheat this year with this team? But he's definitely a good manager, and he's showing that he can coach a team and bring them back, from the cellar to being number 1 in the AL East. My Yankees, I can't speak for them, man. There's that famous meme going around of, Thanos saying at what cost that the Knicks are good this year, and it's the Yankees is what it cost them. So I'm happy to see the Red Sox doing good. It's a good rivalry for the Yankees, and they just, I think it was pitching was going to be their biggest struggle, everybody thought, and the pitching is actually doing pretty good. So, and actually the bullpen is doing pretty good too.
That's what I thought.
So like everybody's, predictions on the Red Sox, they're like Vic likes to says eating crow. So, eat that crow, win them ball games, and you're first in the AL East. I'm not mad at it. I just need my team to start hitting.
Yeah, and Sammy, I'm sorry, but I know you want to jump in here because I know you have thoughts, but I just want to point out 2 players on the Red Sox that have really made me a believer this season, and that's the first one, of course, is being Xander Bogaerts. Still early in the season. Sure. What's that?
He's good every year. You don't got to worry about Xander Bogaerts.
You're right. You're absolutely right because and I didn't realize it, A-Rod, but if you look at it,
that's something A-Rod kept telling me too during the offseason. While I was getting pissed at all the stupid moves that I thought were really dumb, he's like, "You guys still have Xander Bogaerts and JD Martinez. Shut the fuck up." The thing about
Xander Bogaerts is like,
excuse my language.
Yeah, like the only thing about Xander Bogaerts is that you should be afraid of is like if they continue to suck, if they would get rid of him. That's the only thing you should be afraid of. But other than that guy produced like he's batting like 357, which is insane.
366. 366.
He hit a date. Not me, brother.
Yeah, I mean it's impressive, and he doesn't always hit for power, but this season I feel like he really is. And right underneath him is Rafael Devers, who's kind of blossoming here before our eyes. He has 6 home runs this season, 1 behind JD Martinez, who leads the team with 7. But he's also not doing too bad in the average, and that was what was killing him last year. Was he was able to hit the bombs, but he wasn't really hitting for average. He's at least around 270 this year, which is not too bad. Again, small sample size as always, but his slugging is up around 551. His on base percentage is also right around 356. So he's getting on base without hitting the ball, which is good. You like to see a guy that can take walks and hit the long ball, unlike Yankee players who just strike out if they don't, hit the ball.
Yeah, we'll get to the Yankees in 1 second. I just wanted to point out a couple of things too, like A-Rod mentioned about the pitching. I mean, the team ERA right now is 3.94, so a little bit of a concern. They've kind of dropped or come a little more level to what we were seeing kind of during that 9-game win streak. But if you look at kind of their outer metrics, their FIP and XFIP are between 3.37 and 4.07. So they're pretty much exactly where they should be. So, I mean, I think they're going to finish the season around 4.3, 4.5 ERA, which, to be fair, like A-Rod mentioned to me before the season started, is way better than what it was last year, which was 5.58, which was just, abysmal. And, to the credit of you, Vic, you pointed out, I think on A-Rod's Fairweather show, that the bullpen is actually a lot better than the starting staff. So
yeah, and I never really until A-Rod said anything about the manager. What a great point. It's incredible how much we underrate managers in sports like baseball, and overrate them in sports like football, right? What Alex Cora has been able to do, bringing this Red Sox team together this year. Again, I know it's so early, but A-Rod, you got to understand our expectations, right? I mean, I was thinking Cellar, like the worst team in baseball.
We can run the film back, and I can show you.
We can show you. I was literally all out on this team, and I'm glad to be able to at least have a team that I can root for this year. That's for sure.
So I mean, and also Vic, to your point, A-Rod, you can jump in and disagree with me. They're 5-6 in the last 11 games, and if you look at the games that they did drop, 2 to the White Sox, they split with the Jays. I mean, you look at that, that's 3 out of those 6 to teams that are probably going to be pretty good. The White Sox are probably going to win the AL Central. And I think the Blue Jays are my opinion, going into the season, A-Rod still thinks that they're a little too young, which I can agree with, but I thought the Blue Jays were going to win the East.
Yeah.
In my opinion, these super teams that people build in one season, kind of like the White Sox, I don't have high hopes for them. Like, yeah, they look good on paper, but baseball is, like, I think, in my opinion, one of the biggest games that you have to be able to gel with the entire team.
Right.
Football as well, but baseball, it's a very superstitious sport, and a lot of players have their certain type of things that they do. They have their certain relationships with the infielders. That's why you see, like, stud infielders when Andrus and Beltre were in the infield together. Those guys were locking down the left side of the field. And then as soon as Beltre retired, Andrus became super expendable and was not that good to who he was there with. Good point. These teams like that, they got to be able to gel. And like I've been saying, the Blue Jays are definitely a young team. They're very surprising young team. A lot of talent, but it has to gel. Those teams have to gel. Bringing in a Springer, that's a good thing for them. There's some veteran leadership there. But, your guys' team, my show is called the Fairweather Podcast, basically gearing towards people who hate their team so much that they still root for them.
Yes.
We just come down and bring you to life on what you're really rooting for. And the Red Sox Nation, like, me and Sammy always argue over this. If it wasn't for, the Dombrowski effect, screwing up the entire metrics of the team,
Thank you.
There'd be something there. It sucks that, you had to get rid of, I won't even say his name, we know who he is, and shipped him off out west. But this guy Verdugo, I've been telling you, he's no Mookie Betts, but he's a pretty good player. He was the number 1 farm player.
He was a top prospect, yeah.
He kept bringing him up. He was so good. I remember when they brought him up his first year with the Dodgers, he played like maybe 20, 30 games, and he batted 300. Yeah. But he was like a platoon guy. Then they put him out there in right field to start, and he was still breaking in over 300. He was doing very well. So he had to be the center chip for that trade, and it makes sense. So there's a lot of good things to look forward to. Now it's up to the Red Sox.
Yeah.
If they get to being in playoff contention, get back to the Red Sox way and buy those pieces that you need. You need another arm in the starting rotation. Go get a guy that's subpar or elite, and put him in that or in the starting rotation for you guys. So
no, for sure. And about Verdugo, a comp that I see for him is actually somebody already on this Red Sox team, and it's Xander Bogaerts. Verdugo hits. He can hit for average, and he gets on base.
He's hitting for power now, which is crazy.
Yeah,
he's also already stolen 2 bases.
Right, right, and I feel like he can.
No, but I mean, you weren't expecting that.
No.
Like that's going into the year. You're looking at a guy that's probably going to steal 15, 16 bases.
I expect anybody who's under 23 to steal bases, and if
Yeah,
you're not,
no, yeah.
you got to be a slob, and he's no slob. Like he's like mid-tier, kind of, almost
He's
slobbish.
only 25 years old too, so he still has yet to hit his prime. So I wouldn't be surprised if the best of Verdugo is yet to come, obviously. But then we also have Devers there, who's only 24.
I mean,
So
if he's a 20-20 guy and hits for average, that's going to be really good. I mean,
I'll take that. I mean, it's not like A-Rod said, it's not Mookie Betts, but I'll take it.
You got to get something out of the trade,
Right?
You gotta get something that's producing for your team, as opposed to pure trash.
Right.
Can we say shit or no? Can we say shit? Nope.
yeah, you can say shit.
Okay,
Yeah.
shit. I back trash and say shit.
Okay, so let's before we move into the Yankees, I wanted to ask you guys this question. I brought it up to Vic before the season started, and we're only a month in, but I want to see if his eyes change or if he changed. And A-Rod, you can let me know as well what you think. So before the season started, the over-under win total for the Sox was 81. I took the over. I'm still taking the over. What do you guys think on that?
Over.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm an over.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, 81,
82,
absolutely.
82 wins.
Yeah.
I said 85. I'm okay with 85.
85 is realistic. That's not bad.
I think we make the playoffs. To be honest with you, especially with the expanded playoffs, I wouldn't be surprised if the Red Sox made the playoffs.
But isn't that awesome? And we'll get to the Yankees right now. But Red Sox, Yankees, meaningful baseball, like that's going to be awesome.
One of us has to show up.
Yeah.
Is there expanded playoffs this year or no?
Yes.
There are.
Yeah.
I thought it was 6 teams, right?
I'm pretty sure it is expanded this year.
I'm going with you guys say.
All right. So, A-Rod, this is one of the main big reasons we brought you on the show today. Why do the Yankees suck so bad? Like, besides the obvious that the Yankees suck, but why do they suck so bad?
Man, I've been telling you this since day one, man, since the season started. The main reason they suck so bad is pitching is a big thing. Our starting rotation is not as good as everybody thinks. On paper, it looks really good.
Outside of Cole. Outside of Cole,
of course. Cole is, top 3 in the league. He's top 3. But everything else, like you got Corey Kluber, who is an ace when healthy, but the Yankees took a gamble on him. The Rangers took that gamble, and he got hurt. And he had a major injury, and he was out majority of the season. They wanted to bring him back as a long reliever or a reliever if they came closer to playoffs, and they shot the bed and they just closed him down. So the Yankees took a gamble, hoping he was going to be healthy. He's doing really good right now. So hopefully he can win this game against, the Orioles, who everyone thought would be the shittiest team in baseball. Yeah. But they've got the Yankees card right now. Who else is in the starting rotation? Oh, we brought back the wife beater, Herman. And
Should be laughing, but yeah,
he's got a mean right arm to throw, but when you're out of the league for a year, it's gonna fuck with you. I get that.
Yeah.
So just they need to put him in the alternate side, bring him up, down, up, down, up, down. Montgomery, he looks good. He's just super young, needs to be coached. And then who's the other one? We have Tyon. Tyon, like he's the wild card. So the starters they're okay. Severino might come back. That'll be good. Debbie Garcia pitched yesterday. He didn't do too bad, but what kills me about the Yankees is if you look at the metrics, if you want to play the Moneyball thing and look at all the metrics and stuff, which say it with me, guys, Moneyball will win you games. It won't win you championships. But
disagree.
The Yankees are always according to the metrics, they should be scoring 5 runs a game based on all the players they have and all the production they get out of it.
Right, before the season started.
Okay. So these guys can't even it's almost like the Jacob deGrom effect, as I call it. Jacob deGrom can go out there, pitch 1-run ball for 9 innings and get 16 Ks and get the loss.
He's so good.
And get the loss.
So good.
So these guys can't even get 3 runs. In the AL, you have the DH. What his job is to do is just rake. Just rake. All you got to do is worry about hitting. Don't worry
Just
about
FYI, in 2018, Chris Sale had the same Jacob deGrom effect. So
yeah, exactly, and it sucks. But
Yeah.
to your point, though, A-Rod, the
one more
pitching,
thing,
if you
real
look
quick.
at it,
One more thing, real quick. The other biggest thing why the Yankees suck, and I'm gonna say it now, the head coach, Mr. Boone, has always sucked as a head coach. You're gonna get a guy off of TV who's never coached, and you're gonna bring him to the greatest franchise. Sorry, boys, the greatest franchise in all of sports. Get the fuck out, or get the hell out of here, for real. You can't do that. There was nothing wrong with Girardi. He just ruffled all the young guys' feathers, and they didn't want him there, and they got rid of him. Boo-hoo! Boo! Get out of here with that. You're a millionaire, and you got to pay $5 for a soda?
I think that's actually a really good point, because if you look at it, their pitching isn't terrible. They're 3.44 ERA on the season. They got an xFIP between 3.5 and their FIP is 3.4. So I mean they're decent, but I think to your point, the bullpen is probably carrying that more so than the starting pitching.
The bullpen
Whereas,
is
you know,
shaky too.
Montgomery and
The bullpen is shaky too. The problem is if the pitchers are dealing and they're giving up like 2 runs a game,
yeah,
the hitters aren't producing. You got to hit too. You got to.
I know that's the thing. They're hitting 203 with a 650 OPS. They got a 243 BABIP. So there's possibly potentially some bad luck there, because you guys should be closer to about 250 for team average, which wouldn't be that bad. But if you look at your top guys, I mean, Stanton's batting 182. He does have 5 homers. Judge's batting 250, 4 homers. But I think this one is a big one. LeMahieu has not shown up yet. He's batting 250. He's got 1 home run. This is a guy that batted, 346 last season? He's not going to touch anywhere near that this year.
He's not. He'll hit through over 300 though, but he always starts off slow historically. Like
what's the over/under? I'll take a bet on it.
Yeah, whatever you want, man. He'll hit whatever you want, man. You say it now, man. I'll take the bet on live.
310?
Not 310. 300. 300 to 300 to 310 is what he's gonna hit.
305?
305. I'll take that.
You take the over?
Mr. 305. Yeah.
You take the over. I'll take the under.
I'll take the over.
All right. All right. You heard it here first.
I'm gonna give you our Geronimo stat of the day. Okay. Our Geronimo stat of the day is that Giancarlo Stanton, his K percentage is 30%. That's why you guys are losing games. I mean, these guys, Clint Frazier, 31%, Jay Bruce, 33%. I mean, these guys strike out at an incredible clip. And it's the only person on the Red Sox.
That has to be coaching. That has to be some coaching.
Maybe.
So Frazier, I gotta get it. Like, it's his first major stint as a starter.
Yeah.
And he needs to get into that role because he's always been dangled out there as trade bait. So I want to see him flourish. But if he's going to be a K guy, it's going to hurt. But he's pretty good defensively in the field. I like that a lot from him. Stanton, I've always said, like, when they traded to get Stanton, that was the biggest waste of a trade in the world. What do you just want? You literally just got Aaron Judge 2.0, and he strikes out more than Aaron Judge. He can't hit for 300 anymore.
And he costs more. Yeah.
We needed a pitcher. Instead, we got more power. And even at that, the power's always hurt. So I'm just waiting for Stanton to get hurt at some point. Like, he's bound to get hurt. And Jay Bruce is gone now. Jay Bruce retired. So I got to worry about Jay Bruce on the team anymore. I don't know why Jay Bruce is even on the team. But he can't hit against the shift. That's why he retired. So, I mean, we had you guys on the show, and we talked about Gary Sheffield and his opinions of baseball, that the strikeout percentage is just astronomical, and nobody looks at that. You know, if you're K'ing 100 times in a season, and I used to argue this with my dad all the time, that if you're K'ing 100 times in a season, that you shouldn't be on an MLB roster. You should be working on your swing. And if you can't hit for 250, you shouldn't even be occupying starting in the starting lineup. You know, that's a big thing. You got to hit for kind of average in a way. So these guys that are going up there and hitting 8 bombs with striking out 30% of the time, like you said, Stanton, I don't get why, like, they waste their times with these players, because the Yankees want home runs. They want all of that. They want the spotlight. I get that. But win ball games. We have enough players that can hit for average. We have Urshela that can hit for average. We have DJ LeMahieu who can hit for average. You know, Stanton can hit for average when he's healthy. it's the beginning of the season. Calm down, Sammy, okay? Nobody can be the Red Sox. Nobody can be Xander Bogaerts hitting 357, okay?
366.
So, my bad.
And look what
366.
Tatis did over the weekend.
He's young, man. He's El Pingon right now, bro. That guy's ready to go, man. But I mean, it's a marathon, not a race in baseball. So these guys they gotta have somebody light the fire under their asses and get them going, because this type of ball, like, we lost to Matt Harvey yesterday. Matt Harvey is not Matt Harvey of 6 years ago, okay? It's not that Matt Harvey. We made him look like the Dark Knight again, and he was wheeling and dealing against us. Yeah. So if you can't park that slow up fastball, God bless.
And I think to add on, like, is the coaching. And I think one thing you noticed about the Red Sox when Alex Cora came, they took a lot more first pitch strikes just to at least gauge the batters and stuff like that. And that allowed for a lot lower of the strikeout rate. Now, with that being said, going forward, A-Rod, as a resident Yankees fan, what are your expectations for the rest of the season? Obviously, this is a little bit of like overreaction Tuesday, we can call it, because it's early on in the season. But what are your expectations going forward? How do you see them turning this around? And what is your opinion on what they can achieve this season?
One last thing I wanted to put in there is when we fired Larry Rothschild, that was a big messed up thing for us to do too, because that guy had the bullpen and he had the starting rotation down locked for a long time. So getting rid of him was a big thing. My expectations for this team is they have to right the ship, and they got to start to think about it quick. You're last in the AL East with the biggest payroll. So, and you might have the biggest payroll in baseball next to the Dodgers. Actually, no. Maybe San Diego. You're up there. You're in the top 5 in biggest payrolls. But they have to turn it around. They have to get better production out of the bullpen. They have to get better production out of the starters. And the hitters got to hit. They got to hit. That's just a simple thing that they have to do. So these, one-run ball games, you got to take advantage of it. You got to find the matchups and put the guy in there that you know is going to get the bigger hit for you. Mm-hmm. If taking out Stanton and putting Kyle Higashioka, whatever the hell the catcher's name is, who's having a pretty good season as a backup catcher and did it down the stretch to replace Gary Sanchez in the playoffs, is the guy, put him in there. I'll be happy to see that. But if I got to see Stanton come up there and I hear the announcers, and this is Giancarlo Stanton, he's 0 for 15 against us, and another strikeout. Like, we knew it was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. Like, come on.
So what's your worry meter? 0 being not worried, 10 being worried. Where are you at?
Right now, I'm about an 8.
Oh, wow, that's high.
I'm about an 8 right now. High. Because, like, this isn't the way they're losing games is not like Yankee baseball. To me, it's like they're upset about something. It's there's something in the clubhouse that's not right. Mm-hmm. When there's something wrong with the team and everybody's like, we'll go out there and we'll play, but we kind of want this guy gone, or this needs to happen if you want us to play at our potential. Like, that's what I feel is going on there. The guys don't look comfortable. They already floated Judge's name out there in trade talks with the Angels. I don't know if you guys heard that.
No.
Conversations with the Angels. I mean, it was deaded immediately, but the fact that you put your star player who needs a contract renegotiated, and first off, the Angels have the worst farm system in baseball. What are you going to get out of it?
Yeah.
Unless it's Mike Trout, get Mike Trout, that'd be awesome. But I mean, don't dangle Judge out there. And then today we just traded Totman to the Giants, and I think that's a good move for him because he can be a starter in base and a good team. And I think with the Giants, the way they're going, they're tied for first out west. He could easily play a pivotal role out there for them because they need an outfielder. So that sucks that we got rid of a bench bat, but he's a good bench bat that's been wasting his time in New York.
Well, I mean, speaking of K percentage, though, I mean, he's at 38%. So he's one of your worst defenders when you look at the K percentage.
Who?
A Tauchman.
I don't care when he gets in there and he needs a hit. Like, he gets the hit.
Yeah.
Like, the days that he'll get 5 days off, they'll put him in the game and he'll go 3 for 4 with 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, and I'm okay with that.
I think it goes more to what you said, where it boils down to coaching and what Samuel was saying. So, I mean, there's got to be something on the bench that they're telling these guys, an out is an out. So you might as well just swing for the fences every time. and get the K if you need to. If you hit a ball in play, who cares? These guys obviously don't value, you know, balls in play or anything like that. So I don't think I think if I was you, A-Rod, my worry meter would be at 8 as well. This is pretty sketchy start for the Yankees, and I hope they finish in last place.
Thank you. We all bought the show. Okay, we all bought the show. We all are like super antsy. Like we don't want to wait on pitches. We want to hit. Okay.
Right.
And that's the way they're approaching things. You can't go up to bat every time and be down in the count every time. You have to examine the pitcher. You got to know what he's throwing, know what he's dealing you, and be patient up there. But as soon as I see you guy go up there and it's 1-2, stick a fork in him. He's not gonna wait. He's not gonna win that battle. The only guy that can do that is my 300 plus hitter who's batting 260 right now. So that's it.
So yeah, I pretty much started my show career being like the Yankees, and now that I'm actually being patient and waiting for pitches, I hit 4 home runs in a row. So yeah, you're absolutely right there. But I'm talking like I played professional baseball, right?
Well, you do kind of. So.
But anyway, let's get to one other team.
Sure.
The Phillies, Dave Dombrowski. They're actually a little bit hot this season so far. I think a couple things to note is they're batting .243 as a team, 711 OPS. So their OPS is really, really good. So I think there's a turnaround coming for them. But something to mention, Andrew McCutchen, to your point, A-Rod, this guy's batting 154. Like an absolute shell of himself, and he's still, again, on an MLB roster. I get it. It's Andrew McCutchen. But apparently he's another one that his K rate's gone up. Like everything about his style of play at the plate has just gotten worse.
So we're talking about the Phillies because my co-host can't be here today. So thank you, KK, for not showing up. Even though he just texted right before we got on, he was like, "Hey, I can jump on." So I was like, "Hey, man, sorry. Like, this is professional over here. These guys got like a squad that runs it. It is what it is, man." So I'm gonna fill in for you, KK, and give you some love on your Phillies. Yeah. So ever since the Pirates got production out of Starling Marte, and they told McCutchen, "We don't want you at center fielder anymore," that's when it began to mess with his head. That's when I noticed the decline of Andrew McCutchen. And it's sad to see because he's an MVP. He's a great teammate. And I think the reason he is kept around there is for that veteran leadership. He's been on a lot of good Pirates teams. He's been a vocal player in clubhouses. He was with the Yankees and was well-liked with the Yankees. I wish they would have kept him.
But I think their big problem, too, is they got him to be more than just a veteran leader. And now you're seeing them have to rotate players around to account for the fact that he can't hit.
Well, he's not hitting much worse than Giancarlo Stanton.
Okay.
But the problem is, I can make a show just ragging on Giancarlo Stanton all day, man.
Maybe.
But the problem is you can't have everybody on your team hitting 300. Okay. My biggest tip to that is if McCutchen is batting first. If he's batting first with that type of stat line, that's not good. Right. Have him towards the end of his line, or have him towards the end of the lineup, and let him work his way to becoming, a leadoff hitter, a 2-hitter, a 3, whatever you want to put him at. He'll never hit 3. He'll never hit 4 because you've got those guys locked in at those hitting positions there. But the Phillies also have a really good farm of young players to bring up. They got the wife beater back again too.
Odubel played yesterday.
Back. Yeah, man, he was projected to be the face of the franchise until he wanted to go, Mike Tyson punch out on his old lady.
He had 30 home runs, right? That first season.
Yeah, he was projected for good things, but some people want to hit their wives, and that's not cool. So they have a lot of good players.
Cool. And I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the way that A-Rod put it.
The one thing like we talk about all the time, Sammy, you and I, is the Dombrowski effect. If you want to win right now, Dombrowski is that GM for you. He will get you as far as the promised land, but it's up to you then at that point. And then if he get there, he might jump ship for a better job or go another 2 years and get fired because he's traded away all your assets. He's depleted your farm system.
Anybody, whatever.
And players are going to come on the decline. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Didi, and he's having a good year.
Yeah.
But Didi can't hit for 250 sometimes. and he Ks. Good player.
And I don't even think I think his power is declining from that year he had with the Yankees.
Yeah, I think so too, Sammy. And I think that he's still a player that can hit for average, and his batting average on balls in play is around 286. So when he does get the ball in play, he is hitting well, decent. So actually, I think Didi is a guy that the Yankees would benefit from having. To be honest with you,
Absolutely.
Aaron.
To come back any day of the week.
But if you look at Bryce Harper, I mean, Bryce Harper is having a great season. He's already got 6 bombs, and he's
Rhys Hoskins and Bryce Harper are freaking crushing it right now.
Yeah, I mean, Hoskins is doing a little less in the average perspective, but he has 8 homers.
He has 8 homers. He's leading the majors.
yeah, no, absolutely. But he's one of those guys.
4 in the last 4 days.
He still strikes out 33% of the time, though. Hoskins does.
That was the start. If you look at the last week, he's
I know,
got to take a lot better.
I'm looking at Harper right now. His K percentage is at 20% or 19%, I should say. His average is 319 and a BABIP of 347. So balls in play, which is what BABIP is 347. So what that means is that every time that he actually puts a ball into play, he's getting on 347% of the time. Now, his on base percentage is pretty high as well. It's at 450. So Bryce Harper is performing, and I feel like a lot of the hate towards the Phillies is that they got Bryce Harper, no, he sucks. No, I think the team is there. I think the bones of the team are there. I think it's the pitching that they need to get. They need to get in order to swing this thing around, in my opinion.
So me and KK were going on about this because KK is obviously a Phillies fan, and KK is my co-host on the Fair Weather podcast.
Right.
His biggest thing was pitching as well. But not everybody can have like that Mets starting 5 like they had like 6 years ago when they had Harvey, Syndergaard, DeGrom, Matz, who was coming up, and whoever the 5th guy was, plug him in there. That was a stud rotation. You can't have that. But you've got a stud in Nola. Zach Wheeler is not a bad pitcher.
He's good as a number 2. What?
Good as a 2. He could be an ace on any team. Who's the other guys they have?
I don't think Zach Eflin is that bad as a number 3.
Chase Anderson, Vince Velasquez,
It's those last 3. It's those last 3 that are not good.
Vince Velasquez is a shame because he was supposed to be really, really good, and I think he's better as a long relief guy. And some guys they can't stomach to move to the bullpen, but it'll turn look at David Price. David Price is accepting the role as being in the bullpen, and he's hurt now, but I think he'll figure things out there. But
and I think he's in the bullpen because he missed all of last year due to COVID, and I think they're kind of shelving it. I think David Price is still a starter in the league.
Yeah, but you think like he's on the Dodgers. They have like 20 starters there, and like if you want a job here, like you got to do this. Is what you got to do.
I would not at that price, but I would like David Price to be starting for the Red Sox. I mean, he would definitely be in this rotation. That's for sure.
I love David Price. I met David Price. He's a homie. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
But the Phillies, if they can get one more starter, that'll be beneficial to them. Everybody was scared of the bullpen. The bullpen looks pretty good. Mm-hmm. The bullpen looks decent. Yes, you can upgrade it, but I think everything on the field that's there, maybe find out who your center fielder is going to be, and after that, I think you're good everywhere. I mean, Bohm is pretty good. Didi's really good.
Yep.
Segura's not, the old Segura that was stealing 30 bases a year, but he still can hit for average, and he can hit near 300. Hoskins is doing his thing. Real Muto's probably the best catcher in baseball. Harper, if he's not on a streak of just Kang, he's a pretty scary person in the lineup. And then McCutchen, it sucks he's on the decline, but that veteran leadership, you need that in the clubhouse. You can't have a bunch of young guys out there and not have that veteran guy that is a presence who's won MVP. You got 2 MVPs on that team, in Harper and in McCutchen. And you got a little more years in McCutchen, so that's good to have. Just a center fielder, that's the only thing that they need to find out. Is it going to be Heasley? Is it going to be whatever the guy is who's the first overall pick they brought up, or is it going to be Cabrera? Who's it going to be?
Yeah, I think the NL East is going to be pretty interesting to see between them and the Mets and the Braves. So that's going to be
scary, man. It's a scary
division.
I mean, the Marlins aren't laying down. Everybody over there is a solid team out there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's gonna be a fun division, and just like the AL East, I think the NL East is going to be a good division to follow for sure moving forward.
All right, so we could talk about baseball all day, all of us. But let's get to some. We got the NBA closing out. Let's kick it off with you, A-Rod. The New York Knicks 9-game winning streak was unfortunately snapped. They lost to the Phoenix Suns. I believe, was it last night or the night before?
Last night.
Last night. They're now tied for 4th in the East alongside Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
What is this team? Well, tell me about this roller coaster ride you went through, and what is this team missing to be a real contender going forward?
This team, I'll be honest. Last year, when free agency went on, and the Knicks were poised to possibly get the first pick, it was intriguing to Kyrie Irving. It was intriguing to Kevin Durant. And all these New Yorkers were all, oh my God, we're going to formulate a big three and we're going to have the first pick overall. KD's coming, Kyrie's coming, Zion's coming. I didn't buy into that hype. Didn't buy into it one bit. I was like, this is New York. Nobody wants to play here. And we signed day one Julius Randle. We signed Julius Randle day one, and I will never to this day forget Stephen A. Smith, what he said. He said, that's a day 3 signing, and you're all up in arms about signing Julius Randle. His first year in New York, he put up numbers. They weren't bad numbers, but it wasn't what he's doing now. And my God, I'm happy. This is the first player that's come to New York, besides the Carmelo Anthony, and has really taken the town by surprise and has had the city embrace him. They love him. He's doing well. He's MVP numbers. I don't care what anybody says. He's got MVP numbers. He has MVP numbers. He's leading his team in every category that's major.
And that's, to your point, that's despite being shit on before he even showed up and played a game. You know what I mean?
I never shit on Julius Randle. I knew he was going to be good.
No, but to A-Rod, backing up A-Rod's point where, he was like, oh, this is who we got. You know what I mean? Like,
I think Julius Randle, since he was on the Lakers, I was hoping that the Celtics would grab him. But I'll let A-Rod continue on his high horse.
Yeah, sorry.
You're good. So Julius Randle is showing up. RJ Barrett, they shit on my boy last year. They didn't even put him on the rookie second team. Like, get out of here, man. Get out of here. That's disrespect to my boy. Whoever the guy Davis was with the Raptors, now he's with the Kings. I don't want to hear that guy. Get him out of here. So you shit on RJ Barrett. He's doing very well. I wasn't really happy with the D Rose signing. We needed a point guard. D Rose knows Thibodeau and knows his style of basketball. So they're using him the right way. And, he can give you 18 points a game. He can give you 6, but he gives you good defense, finds the open guys and finds, creates shots for players. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about him. So Nerlens Noel is a big surprise for me. He's a journeyman center. I always knew he was kind of good, but he's blocking shots and playing good defense.
Right out Milton, Massachusetts.
Yeah. There was in that 9 stretch period where he made some pivotal big blocks that will stick out to me during the season. Mm-hmm. And I'm thankful for that. I really want Mitchell Robinson back, but he scares me because he's always in foul trouble. That's the biggest thing with Mitchell Robinson is if you want to look at analytics, like when is it going to be time to take Mitchell Robinson out because he's always in foul trouble.
Sure.
But everything else, everybody's playing to the tune of the game. Quickly could be a starter, but give the guy some time to flourish and grow, and I think he's accepted his role.
Tibbs loves Peyton. No. That's the problem.
No, and Quickly is good. Randall is good. RJ Barrett is good. I mean, all these players that you mentioned are good players. They're not. I mean, Randall still hasn't made the jump. Barrett still hasn't made the jump yet. That I think he will eventually. I mean, this is only his second year in the league.
Jump now. He's making a jump right now.
No, I don't think he's there yet. I think he's going to get better. He's going to continue to get better.
I think RJ Barrett and Julius Randle is the tandem that nobody talks about in basketball. They play so well together. When I watch a lot of Knicks basketball. I watch a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
But if I catch a Knicks game when they're on TV or if I decide to tune them, when I watch those two play, the pick and roll and the outlets, oh my God, they're a coach's heaven God sent to have, man. It's ridiculous.
Right. Well, I mean, let's be honest though. This is a team that is ranking near the bottom in offensive rating for the season. But over these last 5 games, they've been great.
Number 1 in defense, though.
Yes, they're absolutely number 1 in opponent points per game. Not number 1 in defensive rating, but in
number 2 in defensive rating, I believe. If I'm not mistaken.
And they're 20. Now, here's something interesting though. During this last 5-game stretch where they have had immense success, they're actually 4th in the NBA in points with 119 points per game, and they are 1st in offensive rating in the NBA. Now, put it to the defensive side, they're 20th in the NBA in defensive rating. So, I don't know what that means other than that the Knicks might be a better offensive team than they are defensive team when they got it gelling. I think that RJ Barrett is going to get better. I don't think that he's at his apex now, and I don't think he has made the leap that he's going to make. Now, he has made that second-year leap that we see usually, but he's still got to make that Tatum leap that Tatum made late in his 3rd or 4th year, right? So he still hasn't made that yet. I'd like to see it happen. I think it's going to happen. Quickly is a starter. I don't know why Quickly is not starting yet. He's a starter on half the leagues in the team right now. Half the teams in the league right now, in my opinion. Obviously, they're 4-1 in their last 5 games, which is great. But also, their assisted turnover ratio is kind of high at 1.79. So, for me, I honestly think this Knicks team is lucky and has been getting lucky. They are not to me personally. I think once they get to the playoffs, they're done. They're a one and done in the playoffs, in my opinion.
What's our record against the Celtics this year?
Well, I don't know. I don't have them right in front of me, but I'm assuming it's in your favor if you're asking me. But
it is in my favor.
It's 2-1.
It doesn't have a bench and it's going to finish 6th in the league. I'm just telling you right now how I feel when I look at this team and when I watch this team play. This is a team that can't play in crunch time. This is a team that if you look at their crunch time numbers, are actually lower than you might think, and doesn't have that star player to lean on. I know you like Julius Randle. He's great.
Did you watch that 9-game stretch in the clutch? Like, it was all clutch.
Again, look at the teams that you're playing against, right? So you're not playing against anybody of merit, really, in my opinion.
That's 9 games.
I know, guys.
Give me Brooklyn. Give me the Lakers. Give me Utah. Give me
Toronto, Los Angeles, New Orleans, Dallas, New Orleans again. And their teams on back-to-backs. There's Charlotte, there's Atlanta, there's Toronto. What playoff team did you guys beat? I don't see
Atlanta.
one.
Took Atlanta's Cookies, who was 4th.
Atlanta's a playoff team.
Took Atlanta's Cookies by beating them in overtime? I mean, come on, guys. What are we talking about here? These are the Knicks. Come on.
Atlanta's a game and a half above the Celtics. Come on.
I'm telling you right now, they beat them in overtime. All I'm saying is that I feel like the Knicks have gotten lucky this season. I agree that Tibbs is a great addition, and I think that they should be a playoff team, but I think they are lucky to be in the 4th seed, and I do not think that they will finish the season in the 4th seed.
I want them to eat crow so bad, man.
I won't.
Listen, man, at what cost are the Knicks good? And it is the Yankees, okay? So give me my shine. All I want as a Knicks fan,
enjoy it.
All I want as a Knicks fan, they can be one and done.
Listen,
they can be one and done.
I'm not on this show to make you feel better. I'm on this show to give facts. And my facts are that this team has not really beaten anybody in the 9-game stretch. And in my opinion, now I could be wrong. I have been wrong a lot before. But in my opinion, I think that the Knicks are going to flounder in the postseason and definitely not finish in the 4th seed. At least at the best, I see them in the 5th or 6th position.
All right, so A-Rod.
In my opinion, make the playoffs. That's all I want.
Okay, that was going to be my question. What do you want from this team this year?
I want them to keep – this is my real expectations. I want you to keep this momentum. You've got a head full of steam. You're rolling through some good players, some good teams. You're beating the Zion Williamsons. You're beating the Trey Youngs. You're beating, whoever else we beat, man. There's a lot of good players and teams we beat. Whatever you want to say, Vic. But keep the full head of steam going. Try and stick in that 4th seed. If you can get to 3rd, that'd be awesome. 4th, 5th, I'll be okay with it. Don't go sliding. Like this is the real expectations of a Knicks fan. Yeah. You can go on a 9-game win streak and then you can go on a 10-game losing streak. Like that's the kind of shit that happens to the Knicks. Mm-hmm. Don't repeat history. Don't be like the Knicks of the past, of Ghost Past. Keep it going. And my personal thing, I'm happy if you make the playoffs. I'm not expecting you to win the ship. Ain't nobody gonna be Brooklyn. Ain't nobody gonna be Brooklyn. It ain't gonna happen. Make the playoffs, turn some heads. Right now, New York is becoming a marketable place for players to come want to play and get those right players to come in and play with you. That's it. We're missing like one or two big pieces. That's it. And
I will say that I do agree that the turnaround for the Knicks is happening now. That this is a Knicks team that moving forward has players and has the pieces that can make a championship run someday. I don't think it's there today.
It's missing some big pieces.
Well, yeah, I know, but you have the bones there, right? You have Barrett. I think
we look like you guys when you had a team full of expendables, the Jared Sullingers and all those guys. That was just like a bunch of role players, and we could dish them out.
Barrett is going to be a star. Quickly is going to be a star. I think those are two players that have the ability to become stars. Now, whether they become stars or not is up to them. But I think they have the ability to become stars. Obviously, Julius Randle doesn't fit in that timeline, but I think you have two players there that can be the carriers of the banner moving forward. I think that obviously there are going to be pieces around them to help them. As you can see, look at the Celtics this season, right? With Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they didn't have pieces at the beginning of the season to help them. They didn't have a bench. They didn't have secondary scorers. Now we brought in Fournier, we brought in Parker to hopefully fill that void. Obviously, it's not going to do it for us this season. We need to go back and reassess in the offseason. But that's something that the Knicks will have on their table, moving forward in the next few years, I think.
All right, real quick, moving on. The Celtics are 7 because you were just mentioning the Celtics. Celtics are 7-3 in the last 10, and we're going to finish off with some playoff stuff. A-Rod, tough losses to Brooklyn and Charlotte. Vic, what do you see with the Celtics right now and going forward?
I'm worried
for the season.
I'm worried. We were riding high when they were on that win streak, and I was saying, Eastern Conference Finals are bust, but we've regressed again. And
where we've come now.
I mean, if you look at let's look at the last 5 games, Sammy. We're 2-3 in the last 5 games, right? With an offensive rating of
7-3 in the last 10. So cup half full, cup half empty. I don't
know.
But
I want to look at recency. So let's look at the recents.
10 games.
Yeah, fair enough. But with 27th in the NBA in offensive rating, right? And that's supposed to be our bag, right? Our offense. We're 8th in the NBA in defensive rating since then. Post All-Star break, we have been horrendous on back-to-backs. Okay, all season long, we're 5-7 on back-to-backs, and
we have no bench.
Sammy, I know that. That's the issue, right?
Oh, okay.
We don't have any bench, right? I'm not saying that we should be better. I'm saying that we're not going to be good. I mean, post All-Star break, if you look at the numbers, the Celtics are pretty much similar. The only issue is that we're getting, and we're not even, the thing is that we're not even playing a tougher schedule this time around, right? So we had like
easier schedule, supposed to be
schedule, and we're only averaging 1 point more a game, and our win percentage is actually down from the beginning of the season. So these last 10 games are going to be obviously going to be very meaningful for the Celtics. Let's look at the Celtics on 0 days rest right now. Okay, Celtics are 5-7, as I said. Now the New York Knicks, okay, are 7-5. On back-to-backs, okay? Now, that bothers me. I mean, the Knicks are better than us on back-to-backs, okay?
They're more well-rounded. They have a deeper team that helps on back-to-backs, doesn't it? It doesn't help overall, but it helps on back-to-backs.
No, but that has in this season, that has a huge impact on standing, which is another reason why I think the Knicks are getting lucky. And the Celtics bench has just started to come together. I mean, hell, we just lost Kemba Walker. We didn't lose Kemba Walker, but Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum are both out this game, and somehow we're still in it playing the Thunder. I think we're only we might be up by 2, but if we win that game against the Thunder, I mean that's a huge win, especially with New York, Atlanta losing yesterday. So this is going to be a tight race until the end, and
we're down by 1 right now in the fourth.
What's that?
84-83, down by 1 in the fourth quarter.
Well, all right. Anyway, it sucks. I mean, and if you look at the box score right now. So I'm looking at the box score from this game without Tatum, without Kemba Walker, without Robert Williams. And in my opinion, Robert Williams is the person that we need. We have 3 losses without Robert Williams. Since Robert Williams went down, we've lost 3 times. Okay? Before that, we were on a win streak and we were riding high. Without him, we need him to anchor that defense. Now, look at the box score from tonight. So far,
Jaylen Brown's got 29.
Jaylen Brown's got 29 points. Peyton Pritchard has 23 points. Where the hell are the rest of the points, man?
That's awful.
What the hell is going on with this team, man? This is horrendous. We need to be better. We need to be able to have people. I need to be able to rely on Evan Fournier for 20 points tonight when Tatum and Kemba are not in the game. That's ridiculous that now, granted, we didn't give up much for him, thank God. But if we try and sign him in the offseason, he's got to do better. He's got to do better.
Well said. I don't know how to follow that up other than, yeah, that's really, it's really not much to say there. So think about 12 games left before the playoffs. I think 11 after tonight. What are some of your takes or predictions for the remainder of the season, whether it be for your team?
Sorry, Sammy, does this team show you heart? Does the Celtics team show you heart ever?
No, I was more excited about the Knicks over the last 10 games.
There's the same.
This team doesn't know.
The same thing that's going on with the Yankees is the same thing that's going on with the Celtics. There's something not right in that team. Like there's something not sitting right within the franchise.
Great
That's
point.
definitely what it is.
Great point. I couldn't agree more. I'm sorry to cut you off. I got so pissed off just thinking about how much this team just lets us down. But that's a great point, A-Rod. Thank you.
Well, I've been a Knicks fan for a very long time, so enjoy being let down, and don't shit on my parade that they're doing good this year. Okay, like I almost had a heart attack when they got to 8 wins. I was like, oh my God. I was like, you gotta check me. I was like, I'm on suicide watch if they win 10, man, for real, man. This could be crazy. But the Knicks are definitely head turners, man. And I'm proud to see him. Even LeBron is happy. LeBron's like, the NBA is good when the Knicks are winning. So let's keep it going. Let's pray that they keep doing well. In my opinion, I mean, you guys don't want them to do good, but I want them to be 4th in the East. That's what I'd like them to be. I'd love them to be 3, but 4 is comfortable with me. And then out west, it's shaky, man. It's shaky. What is this? There's like 11 games left in the season.
Yeah.
So the Lakers got to make that push. LeBron's supposed to be coming back. Could they win, 9 of those 11? They could. Could they win all 11? They could. It's LeBron James, man.
They don't need to
be back. Anything could happen. But I think the Nuggets will fall a little bit.
Yep.
I think Portland's going to rise a little bit. It's crazy to see who's going to be first. Is it going to be Phoenix or is it going to be Utah? I think, Vic, you're going to like this. I think your Utah Jazz are going to win it out in the West, and that'll be good. Get to see Utah reigning in the West again, a la Jordan days. But that playing game is the scary part for the West because there's going to be 2 good teams down there in that playing game, really, and it could be Luka, it could be Dame, it could be any of those guys down there. Yeah. So the West is scary. The East, we know who the top 3 are going to be already. Yeah. It's locked in there. And KK, your team's on a slide right now, which sucks. But they're still a dominant force when everybody's healthy. So don't sleep on the.
I think they're cruising. I really do. I watch their games. I think they're just cruising right now.
They have to, man. Like
they're not going to take the 1. They probably won't lose. I mean, if they lose the 2, they'll be a 3 seed. I mean, I think they're cruising.
That's nightmare scenario for the Celtics if Philly ends up dropping to the 3 seed. I think the only chance that the Celtics have of making it to the Eastern Conference Finals is if they secure a 5 or 4 seed, end up playing Milwaukee in the second round, and have a nice day. We'll see you in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Somebody's opinions didn't change from last week, huh?
No, they still don't. I mean, why would they? That's the fact. I mean, the Celtics don't make the Eastern Conference Finals if they have to go through Brooklyn. That's the bottom line. I mean, unless, miraculously, Kyrie decides to take a leave of absence to, walk around his house. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. And KK, I think your team is in good position to make the Eastern Conference Finals, if not the finals itself. Now out west, that's where things are most interesting. I like A-Rod's take on the Utah Jazz. I think that the Suns are the hotter team right now. I think that the Jazz will eventually pull it out, but the Suns are definitely going to finish in that 2 seed. I don't think the Clippers are overtaking them. I don't see the Nuggets overtaking them, but I think it's going to finish 1-2 Jazz Suns. Clippers with the 3rd. I think everything stays packed except for the Lakers. I think they're going to move possibly to the 4th seed, if anything. I think when LeBron comes back. And you know what? Honestly, I don't think that it matters for the Lakers. I still think the Lakers are going to make the finals because you can't count on LeBron James, guys. I mean, he's incredible. So that's my take. I think if you're asking me playoff predictions right now, finals predictions, I have to go chalk and I have to go Lakers, Nets.
All right. All right, so let's finish the show off with some fun. Kind of make it a little bit lighter. Although Vic will probably still get worked up about Bill Belichick, but a little fun activity. I sent it to all you guys. So a nice little Santa list for your team. So for you, A-Rod, the Jets. For Vic and I, the Patriots, and then we can kind of together talk about potentially what the Bucks Santa's list could look like. So, A-Rod, you're the guest on the show. Let's you start for the Jets.
Bro,
everything.
We talking about draft or we talking about off season?
Draft.
Well, I'm on suicide watch on Thursday, so just check in on me. Just checking on it. In the second pick, we already know who it is. We already know who the second pick is. It's a done deal. So Zach Wilson is definitely coming to New York. I'm not sold on it, not one bit. I'm not happy with it. I was happy with Darnold. They just ruined his career, so I'm happy he's out and he can revive his career somewhere else because they didn't give him anything. Like you can't have a franchise quarterback and not give him like dog shit to play with. Like there's literally dog shit there to play with. Yeah, you got Le'Veon Bell, but you got fat Le'Veon Bell. What's the saying? Rappers get chubby and move to Miami. That's what Le'Veon Bell did. He didn't play a season. He got chubby and he went to Miami and went on jet skis and ate pan con pinga every day, man. That's what he was doing, man. So, I mean, the Jets, there's so many things we need. And obviously now we need a quarterback at the helm. So Zach Wilson will go. But with the 26th pick, I'm pretty nervous at that point. Like I need, man, I really want to go offense. I really want to get Najee Harris. I really want him. And there's like 2 or 3 teams that could easily take him in the first round if the getting's good. The Steelers could get him. The Bills could get him. And I swear on God, if the Buccaneers get him, like it's a wrap. It's a wrap. The guy is a stud. He's been the best running back coming out of high school. He even showed the numbers his freshman year, and he's just taken the league by storm. Yeah. And I know people don't value running backs in the first round. That's a common thing, but people are comparing him to like Adrian Peterson, and that's a good comparison to get right out the gates. Yeah. People have what's the Clemson guy? Travis
Etienne.
Yeah, I can't say his last name. Sorry. But they have him over him, like, because he's more of a catch and pass running back.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with the plower. I'm happy with the bulldozer, man. So realistically, we already know who the 2 pick is. I can't say who I wanted originally. I wanted Sewell, but that's not going to happen. Who would he be blocking for? We don't even have Joe Flacco. I couldn't even tell you who our backup quarterback is. It's probably like some nobody from nowhere. But quarterback is definitely going to. And then 26, I want Harris. We're gonna put our mock drafts up tomorrow. Ideally, it could go anywhere from a cornerback to a linebacker to even offensive line at that position for us. And even a defensive end. We're notorious for taking defensive ends and just getting rid of them ASAP. So I don't know. Just as long as we can keep a team together and let them grow and not get rid of our draft picks like we've been historically known for doing, I don't care. I'm on suicide watch. Just check and make sure I'm okay. I'm supposed to go to a hockey game with you, so just check and make sure I have a pulse of the game. I just be.
But Vic, what do you think with the Patriots?
Oh, you guys are really, really intriguing because there's rumbles you might trade up. Bill's like, I'd like to move up.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a little bit cautious about moving up, especially for a quarterback when we kind of already have one. And especially, I mean, I guess if the Pats were going to get rid of Gilmore anyway, right? Why not move up? Now, my thing is like, do you think the Patriots would trade up for a quarterback, or do you? I believe that the Celtics would end up, or the Pats would end up trading up and then like getting an offensive lineman, right? Just feels.
Well, I kind of looked at it like this. I can see where you're coming from with that. I think either we're getting Micah Parsons at 15, or to your point, we trade up, and I think I feel like we're not getting Lance. If we trade up, it's going to be for Fields, and
which I would prefer. I don't want Lance. I don't want.
No, and I think it would be for Fields. I don't think it would be for Lance. But what I think the most likely scenario, and Vic, you'll probably laugh at this, we're going to trade out of the first round and then draft a linebacker safety hybrid like Nick Bolton from Missouri.
Can't wait.
That's probably what's going to happen. So that's why.
So my opinion on you guys is there's a lot of different scenarios. Your take on that, I would not be surprised because Bill's
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, he's like he'll get Patriots fans all excited. I want to move up, but to his thing, like this year, you said he's not going to spend, and he went out and he spent a lot. He spent a lot this year, so anything could happen.
Yeah,
Bill Belichick could be getting with the times.
Anything is possible.
Look, so we know what's going one. We know what's going two. 3 is going one of two ways. Management wants Trey Lance. Head coach wants Mac Jones. We got to decipher on that. And depending who goes there, 4 of them becomes intriguing. Could it go, the rightful pick is the Falcons should trade out of 4 and go down. But if they want to get the quarterback of the future, they'll probably snag Trey Lance if he falls there, or Justin Fields at that point. So
Fields. I want Fields to be there. I want the Patriots to have the option to grab Fields because I think Fields is the second best quarterback in the draft.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. But how many great Ohio State quarterbacks do you know in history?
Yeah.
It's a very short book to write. So,
how many great Michigan ones did we know?
What's that?
How many great Michigan ones did we know before my boy?
He doesn't matter. He's a Buccaneer now. So, but the rumblings are, there's a notification I just got that the Dolphins view Jalen Waddle more than they do Jamar Chase if they take a wide receiver. So now this is what's crazy. You want a guy that's went out in the national championship and like wanted to play and was hurt. I would not want that guy on my team. Like sit it out, wait for the draft, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm getting at with you guys though, the Panthers are in talks with you guys to move around and switch that position or switch that trade.
Right.
If that happens, what is it? 1, 2, 5 good quarterbacks in this draft. And they all should go with the last one falling to Denver. If that happens, then you guys could end that log gap for Denver and get one of those, whether it's Trey Lance or Justin Fields. I think it would be Justin Fields. I think him and Devonta Smith. And now it's looking like Jamar Chase, I don't know why, is going to fall in this draft. So that would be intriguing for y'all. And then you know what else would be cool? Now you're going to have other teams scramble because they want quarterbacks. Now you're going to have Mond from Texas A&M thrown into the first round, and you may have what's the dude from Florida, Trask? He might be thrown into the first round because the Broncos need a quarterback, and the what do you call them? The Bears need a quarterback, and then the Saints have a super hard on for Trask, so. They're down at the end of the draft. They could easily take Trask at the last pick. Everything becomes enticing for quarterbacks now. It becomes a QB scramble now. So Bill loves to fuck things up, man. Bill loves to mess
I think you can also look at the perspective of Bill seeing that battle for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And being like, well, I'm just going to do what everybody's not doing and fill in gaps everywhere else.
Right. I have a premium. Yeah.
I don't know. I think
He could
that
sneak
guy
down and take a wide receiver and just throw everybody off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, one of these guys are going to fall. One of the, I think it's going to be Devontae Smith. Everyone's bashing him on his size, and I hope he has a better career than Marvin Harrison. I really do. I'm hoping he does. What's good for y'all is if you stay at that point, I almost see Micah Parsons falling to you, and that's a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
That's a top 5 pick, and there's no reason that he should not be top 5. So in my mock drafts, I have Micah Parsons going there. If y'all trade up, anything is possible.
Good to know.
And I think if Bill sees that Micah Parsons is going to end up at that 15 spot, he might just stay. He might just say, "Yeah, that's perfect."
Boring.
I mean, it's he did this though. Like he started a new friend. Like he started like a new dynasty with a new linebacker. He always does that. He likes to do that. Obviously with the quarterback coming in, but
and
he always likes to solidify
mold.
that middle defense.
He fits the Patriots mold. He has off-field issues. So when Bill sees off-field issues, he's like, I need him. I have to have him. I got it. Him and Chucky love disgruntled players and the Bengals for some reason. If they got a gun charge, the Bengals are all over that. Like, oh, how many guns did he have? How many guns did he have? We'll take him. We'll take him over here. But Bill loves him. Bill loves him a good linebacker. And like you said, he creates dynasties with these guys. Whether it's who's the dude that was with the Lions last year or the year before? God, Collins or
Gerard Mayo,
Hightower, Mayo.
The guy who was the first one in the dynasty,
Willie McGinnis.
McGinnis, yeah. You guys got a linebacker factory over there, and just pump one in. Maybe sign him to a long-term deal, Bill. I mean, try and get off your high horse.
He does that with linebackers. He pays linebackers.
Yeah. So, but he also gets rid of them if they don't listen to him, i.e., Jamie Collins.
Well, that guy didn't prove anything yet. That was his problem.
That's true.
Vic, anything more to add on the Patriots drafting?
No. I just honestly just want to get it over with. let's get to Thursday.
Yeah.
What about the Bucks? You want to talk about the Bucks pick?
Yeah, last one before we sign off. What do you guys think the Bucks should do? I think OL or cornerback, offensive lineman or cornerback. I think those were their biggest addressing needs.
So their biggest addressing needs I was looking at, because NFL.com does predict the pick and it shows you what they need. Surprisingly, cornerback or safety is not a thing that they need. They need D-line, they need running back, they need O-line, they need linebacker. So they become really, really, really enticing. They really do if you think about it. That last pick is very, very good for the Bucks this year because there are a lot of players. This is the only draft that I think that I've seen that so many moves have been made and so many teams have like coveted. Only 2 players are now coveted. Everything else is like, it could be anything. So grading all of these players, Christian Barmore for Alabama is like a top 10 on the player radar. Like he's a top 10 guy. He's not going top 10. And he could fall to the Buccaneers. He could easily fall there. Najee Harris, they need a running back. They're not sold on Rojo. Playoff Lenny, can he do that again? I think he can. I think he's a franchise running back. Najee Harris, man. Could you imagine Najee Harris in Tampa Bay? There's so many things. There's so many good offensive linemen. You know, the kid from Oklahoma State, the one from Virginia Tech,
North Dakota State.
Yeah, there's all these guys, man, that are out there that you can get. Good ones are going to fall to the second round, obviously. If the Bucks are smart, I would be getting another D-line guy. That's what I would be targeting in this draft. Personally, I'd get a cornerback, but apparently that's not what they need. Their corners and their safeties suck, except for Woodfield Jr. But I mean, I can't speak for the Bucks. I think that ownership sucks. I think the GM sucks. Tom Brady called him, and Tom Brady was sitting there saying, "This is how we're going to make this done," and that's what happened. He held his hand through this entire thing. Yeah. So don't give Jason Light any fucking credit. I'm sorry.
But you, Vic.
I absolutely agree with what A-Rod said, especially there at the end. I think their secondary played well in the playoffs. So see what happens. If you can get a good corner in the draft, go for it. But you only have Tom Brady for so long. Might as well. if you can get Najee Harris that late, do it.
My
But
my insides hurt when you say that.
I don't think it's possible, but give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that would be great. I think Asante Samuel Jr. is super enticing there too. Florida
could
State
fall there, too.
guy.
He could
Bucks
fall
like
there,
to
too.
take those people local as well, so that could bring even more fans into the stadiums as well. I mean, and it's not that he's not a good player; like he's a really good corner too. And then, yeah, to your point, all those offensive linemen falling there. But yeah, if Najee Harris is still there,
Absolutely.
God,
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he'll still be there. I think he goes in the early 20s, if anything. But we'll see. And I for one, I hate predicting drafts because it's so tough, and nobody ever gets them right. And
because you got Jerry Jones like
Yeah.
sipping on that yak, like let's take Kyle Pitts. How much more offense do you need?
Yeah.
What do you want?
yeah, because you can look at it from the outside and be like, this is what they need, but then what they actually want to get is not really correlating. So yeah, it all just ends up going to crap anyway.
Right.
I mean, I get it if the best available player is on the board. Like if there's if Kyle Pitts somehow fell to the Cowboys, then I wouldn't be upset with that.
Right.
But if Jerry Jones
To
is
trade it up, yeah.
to get him, like I'd be like saying, Jerry, you gotta go on your yacht and go to Europe or some shit. But let us run this, because how much more offense do we need? We're getting killed on defense every time.
Yeah. All right, but that concludes pretty much a show. Thanks again, A-Rod. A-Rod, you have the floor. Give your little plug.
Go ahead, plug away, sir.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys having me on. Anytime you want me on, I'm always happy to come on. KK's always got something going on. He just bought a house, so like he's busy
Congrats.
setting up the house. We gotta let it be. But yeah, KK and I host the Fair Weather podcast. Both of these guys are continuing rotating heads on the show as well, so you'll get to see them on. We love having them on, discussing sports as well. If you are a team that just really hates your team but loves to root them, we'll bring you down to life on what your team is all about. So you'll want to listen to us and check us out.
For sure.
Where can they find you?
Yeah, man, we're all over the place. You can find us on, if you want to look at the Twitter, _fair_weather pod, and then wherever you subscribe to podcasts, you can find us there. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, the Fair Weather Podcast. You'll be able to listen there. We don't do live. We just record. We record every Wednesday for the most part, and then release it on Thursday. So you'll be able to.
What time Thursday can they find you every week, bro?
Right at noon.
Right
at noon. Drop. No shock drops. Always noon.
Heck yeah, man. You guys got to check them out. They do really good stuff over there. They give us a lot of insight on different sports topics, and we like to kind of piggyback and pick about it too as well. But anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you again, A-Rod, for coming in, and KK, we got to get you in here, man. We got to talk shit to you
Eventually,
too.
one time.
Yes, one time. Thanks to all the listeners in the chat. You guys know who you are. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for keeping the action going. We love you, and we love all the support you give us each and every week. Mm-hmm. And I just got to mention this, Vic, and I know you'd like to mention this as well. Mm-hmm. We see some people lurking in there, and they're not subscribed.
Yeah.
Subscribe. It's easy. Just click it. Just
it's a button.
Hit the like. Just subscribe, please. Just do it. You like to watch us. You like to troll us. We welcome all of it, and we're gonna troll you back. But yeah. Please like and subscribe to the channel House of Fandom. It's our new name. The new name represents what we respect. That's fandom in movies, TV, collectibles, and of course, sports. Thanks for Clark for writing that part up for me. We'll be live at 8 p.m. every Tuesday. Next week, we will have some more baseball talk. We're going to hit you with some more NBA news, probably talk about how the Celtics are annoying, and maybe the Knicks will go on another 9-game win streak. We'll never know until you tune in next week, Townie Tuesday.
As hell.
And we'll also, make fun of how wrong we were in the NFL draft, because that's probably going to happen. Yes. Be sure to check us out on Instagram at Townie_sports. Give us a follow, like our page, House of Fandom, one word, on Instagram and Facebook. And we have a Facebook group called House of Fandom. And we get more news. We post a podcast. We tell you when we're going on. Thanks again, Moira, for moderating the chat, keeping everybody in line. We thank you and we appreciate you so much. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the House of Fandom show. They have an exciting episode this Thursday. Clark, Danny, and Tank enter the Octagon. I mean, they're not talking UFC, so they're not entering the octagon. But anyway, they enter the octagon and review the new Mortal Kombat movie, which was awesome. Did you guys watch? I watched it with A-Rod, but Jake, did you watch?
I did. I liked it a lot.
It was dope. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, they're going to answer the question, will it knock out the 1995 version, or will this new version become a fatality? Come on, Clark. You could have done better with that write-up. All that, plus fandom news and the final episode review of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Did you guys watch that?
Womp womp.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was pretty decent, though. But Be sure to tune in this Thursday, 8 p.m., this channel. Like and subscribe so you can get notifications for our show on Tuesdays and their show on Thursdays. Oh, one more thing.
Yes.
Hopefully this is going to, entice everybody. Clark enters the reality TV world with the premiere of his new show, 90 Day Fandom. Sounds kind of kinky and weird. But it's all about the 90 Day Fiance. So check out his first episode. Scroll down on our page. Check out the new episode. The episode drops every Monday. It's good stuff. It gives you insight. And then you can go online and you can pretty much live stream the episode while you're watching Clark break it down. It's actually pretty cool.
It's pretty fun.
But anyway, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next week. And you guys should tune in Thursday for House of Fandom. We love you. Peace.
Cap G, TCV, Jit Red, Classical, Production, Sandstorm, yeah, we gon' get it, yeah, hey, put your hands up high, if you ride that line, put your hands in the sky, if you ride that line, cause you talking, we living, cause when it all comes down, we gon' get it.
You can catch me in the streets, sun up to sundown. Phone keep ringing, so I gotta make the rounds. Looking for a quarterback, cause I'm dying for a sack. Work the streets all day, so I'm dying for a nap. You can catch me on the block, standing like a statue. Shot me if you wanna, I'ma throw the clip at you. Catch me shooting dice when the work gets slow. Homie ran out of stat, now he betting up his blow. My girl keep calling, saying she need time. Give her wood fucking good, then I'm back up on my grind. 2-7 cap G, money on my mind. You niggas hating on me, but you just a waste of time. Put your hands up, nigga, man up. Ain't no pussy around here, nigga, stand up. We got them grams up, we wearing grams up. 2-7 cap G, and we don't give a fuck, nigga.
Hands up high, if you ride that line, put your hands in the sky, if you ride that line, cause you talking, cause we living, cause when it all comes down, we gon' get it. Hands up high, if you ride that line. I felt alone in the dark, I couldn't even talk, felt like the next step was being outlined in chalk. Pop a few bottles to drown out all the sorrow. Never knew if today was worse than tomorrow. Got left in the rain, fist fights with my dad. Cause I wanted the cream like Usher, I got it bad. I put my feet in the streets like fuck me in the grass. Not a Fox comedy, but my heart was so mad. Not selling that shit would just make it all fine. Like an ex-skater, I didn't wanna forget my grind. It was like Inception, money on my mind. Sick of driving this bucket by dime after dime. But I met some thugs that shared all my dreams. All true to the life, fuck all the fake schemes. Cause when it all comes down to it, it's money by any means. Hustle to shine in the streets like cars with high beams. High.
Hey, Wally and Sandstorm.
How we roll, hey.
Yeah.
I got my shoes high, and my jeans low. I got my socks fitted, you know how I roll.
This is how we roll.
I got my shoes high, and my jeans low. I got my socks fitted, you know how I roll.
This is how we roll. Yeah.
I'm a Homicidal clothes cause I'm dressed to kill. Leave 6 bitches oohing cause I'm worth a mill. Flow is ill, spitting no vomit spill. Killing them softly, but I ain't Lauren Hill. I'm a Beantown boy with a Trigger City mind state. Leaving whole surprise like they going on a blind date. Had that ass spinning, best believe that booty gyrate. Come fresh to the game, so y'all lanes better migrate. Versatile cat, so I flow on the South Beat. Spit so hard I fuck around and hurt my teeth. My vision stays clear, why y'all looking cloudy? Yeah, I spit fire, but misses don't doubt me. Jumping hard on tracks, call me steroided rabbit. Consistently murder beats like a serial killer's habit. Drop his flow, so I took the game and stabbed it. Copy my style, but it's too hot for you to grab. I got my shoes high.